Good afternoon, students. Today I am going to discuss about our last portion of the unit 3, which is importance of prokaryotic microorganisms. And basically, I will be discussing beneficial uses as well as the harmful uses of the prokaryotes. And in your semester 4, you will study applied microbiology, okay, where you will study in more detail about the beneficial aspects of the microorganisms. So starting with the beneficial microbes, okay, or beneficial prokaryotes more particularly. Okay, beneficials are basically those microbes or those basically prokaryotes which can help human beings and which are basically of great importance also. Okay, and as a whole in the environment also they have a very big role, especially in the nitrogen fixation and various cycles such as nitrogen cycles. Okay, even in the case of a photosynthesis, even in the case of a various various carbon cycle, phosphorus cycle, iron cycle, etc. Even the sulfur cycle, okay, which itself contains microbes as a major part of their metabolism. So the cooperation and of the between bacteria and the eukaryotes, and one of the most studied beneficial aspect in regard to the ecology is the nitrogen fixation. And nitrogen fixation is a very important element. Nitrogen is basically a very important element for the living things because it is a part of nucleotides, amino acids, and also part of the building blocks like nucleic acids and proteins. And nitrogen is usually the most limiting element in the terrestrial ecosystems, and the atmospheric nitrogen basically provides largest pool of nitrogen available. Almost 70% of our atmosphere basically consists of a atmospheric nitrogen, and this atmospheric nitrogen cannot be fixed by the eukaryotes. Okay, by various plants specifically. It can be fixed by various algae, but not the plants. But these microbes, where bacteria, especially nitrogen fixing bacteria, can fix this atmospheric nitrogen. Okay, and basically they convert atmospheric nitrogen into ammonia. Okay, and this ammonia can be now absorbed by the plants and various other organisms also. And yes, abiotic nitrogen fixation also occurs. Okay, it occurs it may be due to the result of a lightning or by an industrial process. So the second main use of the prokaryotes is to clean our planet. Okay, is to clean our planet, and one of the most important role for the cleaning is basically a technique named bioremediation. A technique named bioremediation. Okay, so bioremediation basically is a technique which basically employs living organisms like microbes and especially bacteria, which basically helps in the removal, which basically helps in the removal of harmful waste from the nature. Okay, so the bioremediation basically removes contaminants, pollutants, toxins from the soil, water and other environments. From the soil, water and other environments. So the bioremediation, basically a microbial bioremediation is the use of prokaryotes to remove pollutants, and the bioremediation have been used to remove agriculture chemicals also, which are in a higher concentration and can leach the soil from the groundwater and the subsurface. Okay, you will study more in more detail regarding bioremediation in your semester 4. And certain toxic metals and oxides such as selenium and arsenic compounds can also be removed from water by bioremediation. Can also be removed from water by bioremediation. And one of the example of bioremediation, uh, where there is a cleanup of mercury. Okay, you all know mercury is a toxic metal that, okay, and this can be removed from an environment by the process of the bioremediation. And mercury is present as an active ingredient in various pesticides and is also used in industries, and also is a byproduct of certain processes battery such as battery production. Okay, and the several species of bacteria can carry out biotransformation also of the toxic mercury into the non-toxic forms. And these bacteria such as Pseudomonas aeruginosa can convert mercury into elemental HgO, which is basically non-toxic to human beings. Okay, so these are the basic uses of the microbes. Okay, so how basically which are the bacteria which are involved? Okay, this lecture is more over like a generalized lecture. Okay, because it's a very vast topic, importance of prokaryotes. Okay, if you want to note down, you can note down some of the examples. Okay, while I discuss with you, the cyanobacteria are one of the most important nitrogen fixers and also most important for the photosynthesis. Okay, and some of the members of the genus Clostridium are example of free livings, and some of the azotobacter which are also free living nitrogen fixers. Some of the bacteria such as Rhizobium, Bradyrhizobium live symbiotically with the other plants and fix the nitrogen. Okay, and this occurs mainly by the enzyme nitrogenase, which is present in this bacteria. Okay, so the role and the cycle in the case of a nitrogen. Okay, they are responsible for the process of the ammonification also, even nitrification also, even denitrification also. Okay, and the nitrification is basically carried out by the bacteria Nitrosomonas, Nitrobacter, and Nitrospira. Okay, and denitrification like Pseudomonas denitrificans. Okay, is one of the example of the denitrification. Okay, now in the case of bioremediation, okay, certain toxic metals and oxides which are of selenium and arsenic can be removed from the water by bioremediation. Okay, mercury can also be removed by bioremediation. Okay, and one of the most useful and the interesting example of the use of prokaryotes for the bioremediation purposes is the cleanup of the spills, oil spills. Okay, and the importance of prokaryotes to the petroleum bioremediation has been also demonstrated in several oil spills in the recent years. Okay, for example, a oil spill in the Alaska, in the Spain, in the Gulf of Mexico, in the Mediterranean regions. Okay, these are the places where oil spills have been treated using the bacteria. So to clean up these spills, basically bioremediation is promoted by addition of inorganic nutrients, by addition of inorganic nutrients that help the bacteria to grow, and the hydrocarbon degrading bacteria which basically feeds on the hydrocarbons in the oil droplet, which basically break down the hydrocarbons also. And now please have a look at the photo of the bioremediation of the oil. Okay, and some species alkanivores, okay, basically produce surfactants that solubilize oil, whereas other bacteria degrade the oil into carbon dioxide also. So in the case of the oil spills in the oceans, okay, and the ongoing oil spills or the natural bioremediations tends to occur if there are oil consuming bacteria in the ocean prior to the spill. Okay, so in addition to naturally occurring oil degrading bacteria, and human selected and engineered bacteria possesses the same capability with an increased capability of oil degradation. Okay, and also degrade a degrade a larger spectrum of hydrocarbon compounds, and under ideal conditions it has been reported that 80% of the non-volatile components in oil can be degraded within the 1 year of a spill, and the other oil fractions containing aromatic and highly branched hydrocarbon chains and are more difficult to remove and remain in the environment, which are there for a longer periods. Okay, so basically this is a photograph of the bioremediation in the Exxon Valdez oil spill, okay, in the Alaska regions. Okay, similarly we is a photograph where the oil spill can have a catastrophic sequences of the oil spills in the damage to the fauna. Okay, now moving forward with the industrial role of the bacteria. Okay, the first one is their role in the food industry. Okay, bacteria basically plays important role in the fermentation, so they are used for the manufacturing of butter, yogurt, cheese, cakes, and beer. Okay, so they produce a variety of industrial products. Okay, now they also have a important role in the pharmaceutical industries. Okay, in the pharmaceutical industries where bacteria are able to produce many antibiotics also, and some antibiotics are streptomycin, tetracycline, etc. Okay, and these recombinant bacteria are used to synthesize insulin also, growth factors, and other pharmaceutical products and other pharmaceutical products. And basically these bacteria are genetically engineered. These bacteria which produce insulin, various growth factors, or maybe another pharmaceutical products may be genetically engineered also. Okay, now in the case of their role in the energy production, right now the entire world is facing the problem of shortage of energy. Okay, and biogas, as we live in India, biogas is one of the most important source. Okay, and the maximum study in the biogas has been done in the India itself for the production of the biogas. Now in the role in the agriculture, bacteria along, they can be used as a plant growth promoting bacteria. They can be used as a plant growth promoting bacteria, but can also be used as a pesticides for the biological control, as a pesticides for the biological control, and it is effective and a very cheap method for controlling the pest, and another good point of using the bacteria for the biocontrol is they are not going to harm the other bacteria which are beneficial. Okay, they are not going to harm the bacteria which are beneficial. Okay, they also have a beneficial role in the case which I told you right now, plant growth promoting bacteria, where it can promote the plant growth by fixation of nitrogen, solubilization of phosphate, phosphorus, and by also production of various plant hormones also. Okay, and this bacteria and some of the bacteria which have property of PGPRs can also be used as a biofertilizers, Okay, so beneficial microbes, these are the general properties, starting with any of the fermented food. Okay, starting with any of the fermented food, okay, needs a particular prokaryotes to be used. It may be starting with curd, even bread, where in that case yeast is used basically. Okay, and in the case of wine production, in the case of fermented pickles, in the case of fermented vegetables also, this bacteria have play an important role in the food industry as well. Okay, uh, now moving forward with the next one, in the dairy farms. Okay, in the dairy farms, basically bacteria are used to prepare a silage for the dairy animals. And what is silage? It's simply a fermented grass which is used as a fodder. Okay, it is simply a fermented grass which is used as a fodder. In the mining industry, okay, in the mining industry, many bacteria are used for the extraction of metals from the mine, and now recombinant bacteria have been also prepared. Okay, and they also help in the bioextraction of various harmful as well as useful metals also. Okay, because of their selectivity to extract metals from the raw ores, and their role in textile industry. Okay, bacterium like Clostridium are used for retting of hemps, jute, and flax, and this bacteria basically separates fiber, and these fibers are used for making clothes and ropes. Okay, leather industry, bacteria are also used for preparing the commercial leather. You must have a question, how come bacteria are used in the textile and leather industry where a city is being dumped? Okay, basically there are three main stages: primary, secondary, and tertiary stage of the wastewater treatment. Primary, secondary, and tertiary stage of wastewater treatment, of which a secondary stage of the wastewater treatment basically employs variety of bacteria. Okay, variety of bacteria for the treatment of the sewage, for the treatment of the sewage. Now their role of bioremediation we have already discussed. They are also used in tobacco industry for drying tobacco leaves, and these leaves are basically used. These leaves are used for preparation of the harmful uses. You all know bacteria cause diseases. Bacteria cause diseases. So this bacteria, okay, I am online again. So this bacteria, you all know basically. ના ઝટકો આવ્યો જો મને એમાં.